Gosh, you know,
who knows if Wales can get plenty of ball from this pack. Then with 4 outside halves in the Welsh side, there is plenty of footballing ability. England, of course, disappointed, having lost to Wales in the World Cup, have rebuilt this side, built around experience and bringing in a little bit of pace into the midfield as well with Will Carling and Kevin Sims. So they will be looking after that defeat in Paris for a much improved performance. Hardly any wind at Twickenham, and it'll be England to start. Steve Hilditch of Ireland, the headmaster of Belfast High School, is in charge, supported by Brian Carling and Owen Doyle, the 2 touch judges. He checks his watch. Cusworth waits. And the crowd anticipates a mighty battle between these traditional rivals. Cusworth of Leicester and England to get this 93rd meeting between Wales and England underway. No, indeed, it's the fullback Webb. And the first touch of the game to Tony Clement, and it's not a bad one. Rifled at a good 35 metres down towards the halfway line into the sunshine. He'll be well pleased with that first touch of the ball. Tony Clement winning his 2nd cap for Wales. The very first line out, 7 at the tail for England is Winterbottom. England have it, but away goes Collins, looking for the support up towards the 10-metre line. Jones has sight to the ball, and England go over the top, but down they go for a scrum on the 10-metre line. Last man up for England, Melville, the scrum half, winning his 11th cap. A much-seasoned front row for England, with Rendall, Moore and Probyn. But Wales have it. Robert Jones, Jonathan Davies, Bleddyn, Bowen, they miss out a man to Tony Clement, and it's on to Ieuan Evans. Ieuan Evans up towards the 22-metre line. Tackled by Webb on the 22, but the ball nearly made available. Oh, that was encouraging, with Evans showing that dynamic pace of his.
Tremendous play by the Welsh, a good solid scrum, and they move the ball straight away, letting Anthony Clement come into the line. Good pass to Evans, and only desperate defence kept the flying wingman out.
This an interesting ploy for England, shortening their line out somewhat. So it's Brian Moore of Nottingham having a quick chat with Wade Dooley. And now they're complete in the line-out once again. More to throw, looking for Dooley, but Wales had it at the tail. Phillips, the winner of the ball at the back, Rowland Phillips of Leith. Robert Jones waiting, but still no sign of the ball. So that momentary shove will give Wales the put-in inside the England 22. In this scenario where one expects Staff Jones to make his presence felt for Wales, brought in especially, of course, to counteract the burrowing of Jeff Probyn, the England number 3. Robert Jones with the feed. It's on the 22-metre line. Slight little decoy move. Evans waiting, but it goes open to Jonathan Davies. Ring on the switch move, Hadley comes in, but he's well bottled by the England midfield. They were waiting for that, but away goes Kevin Phillips, up towards the 22-metre line. Robert Jones waits. And Wales have it. Jonathan Davies, drop goal. Slightly to the right. Well, we knew that both outside halves would have their opportunities of drop goal attempts. That one's slightly to the right.
And that was a great start for Wales. The scrum rock solid yet again, and he was moved sweetly. Hadley came in the burst, and it was very noticeable that Collins got there quickly. Phillips got there, perfect ball, but unfortunately the drop goal goes wide.
Cusworth with the restart. Phil May takes. Wales have to backtrack a little to get hold of this possession. Kevin Phillips burrowing through there, but the whistle from Steve Hilditch. Steve Hilditch having a quiet word with Paul Moriarty. Little flash of temperament there. So yet another well scrum. Certainly this an encouraging start by Wales. England with a kick-off, but Wales now having won the territorial battle by getting back into the England half. Number 3 with a headband closest to the camera in the Welsh front row is David Young of Swansea, his 4th cap. There's his club colleague Robert Jones with the put-in, and that's the free kick against Wales.
And that's good tactics. Look, Robert Norster, the pack leader, immediately asking what's wrong. He wants to sort it out. Good leadership by Norster.
The kick from Webb is a fine one. That's a bit of a kick. A great cheer all around Twickenham. Jonathan Webb of Bristol, the medical student, his 6th cap, and he'll take great comfort from the length that he got with that kick. Dooley, 6'8", alongside Robert Norster, 6'5". Phillips. Wales have it. Moriarty at the tail. And the kick going. Well, England coming round offside. And up steps the Welsh skipper, the left-footed Bleddyn Bowen. Not a lengthy kick, it's a safe kick, and it'll take play to within some 8 metres of the halfway line. Dooley with the headband. And shifting his position in the lineup much as he did against the French. Dooley to the back, but Moriarty got a hand onto him. May wins the ball, short side. Robert Jones to Ieuan Evans. Evans up against Rory Underwood. Underwood takes his man. Dean Richards coming over like a good number 8 should, covering the threat posed by Ieuan Evans. So Wales concentrating on the short side and bringing Ieuan Evans into play. Phillips having a quick check once again with his main line-out men. That the instructions are difficult to hear by the din of this crowd. Phillips with a throw, Norster goes, but it's a difficult ball for Melville. He's made the most of it. A lovely spin pass inside. Melville that time showing all his attacking and quick thinking skills. And it'll be Brian Moore to throw in once again. No, indeed, Kevin Phillips, Welsh throw in. Dooley got his hands to that one. It could be England ball as Melville waits. England have it, Cusworth. That's the test for Clement or for Ieuan Evans. A little bit of confusion in the Welsh ranks. Evans gets the ball away to Clement. But England on the charge, but Clement's still going. Well, he recovered well. Tony Clement, a little bit of indecision in the Welsh defence that time.
And that was the test we did expect from Les Cusworth. A perfect up and under, good following by Underwood. A bit of confusion with Evans and Clement, but a good recovery by the Swansea youngster.
England throw limited line out. They have John Orwin at the tail, Wade Dooley at front. As Wales have Phil May and Rob Norster at the back. It's a longer men for Orwin. Ring is there though. Moriarty takes for Wales. As Wales set it up midway between the 22 and the halfway line. Jones to Jonathan Davies. The switch. Probyn. Looking. The ball taken by Harrison, the England captain. He's got away from the tackle of Tony Clement, and is Harrison still going? This a good England attack as Melville waits for the feed to Cusworth, on to Winterbottom, now to Carling. Carling caught in the middle. Norster tries to get a hand to it. It is so fast down there, so physical.
And we see that England are willing to play the expansive game as well. A misdirected kick from Jonathan Davies, and immediately Mike Harrison's first thoughts were to move the ball. And we can see they've won the ruck. They moved, they've got men over here, but they're not one of them really going straight. They're drifting across. Carlin tries to go outside, but a tremendous tackle in the Welsh centre halts the movement there. The ball goes down, and Wales are there far quicker. Paul Moriarty, good covering, and the movement ends.
The man injured is Will Carling of Durham University and the Quins. Mike Harrison, the England captain, coming over to check the health of Carling. Ironically, Will Carling, second lieutenant in the army, and due to join the Royal Regiment of Wales in September. This is Coast Centre Sims. Plenty of encouragement for both sides in the opening exchanges at Twickenham. An attacking scrum for England. Pick up by Richards. Melville tries to get the ball away. It's Underwood against Evans. Albert Jones, so 2-3 metres outside the Welsh 22-metre line. Free kick this time, and interestingly enough, it's Jeff Probyn being penalised with his scrummaging technique. He takes the scrum down very, very low indeed. That time, a little bit too low. Bowen, left-footed, and it's got there. Superb kick by the Welsh skipper.
And that's the advantage of having a left-footed kicker on that side. He can swerve the ball in, and that's what Bowen did to perfection then.
The Wales march on the attack after that kick by Bleddyn Bowen. Brian Moore with the throw-in of Nottingham. May at 2 in the line. It was taken by John Orwin. Melville waits. And a nice little kick by Nigel Melville, the England scrum half, in a very tight corner. Not much room there to get the foot underneath the ball. Kevin Phillips once again checking what the line-out call is. Norster is jumping at 4 on the line. That time the ball going England's way, but it's a penalty to Wales. A little bit of barging, a little bit of pushing in the line out. And this a very important moment for marking the Welsh kicker. Treatment being given to Kevin Phillips of Neath, winning his 6th cap.
And Wales doing very well in the line-outs, winning the cleaner ball, and the referee there penalising England for barging and going across. But I think this kick is very crucial for marking, where we can see the line-out there. Look, you can see Skinner just takes the man out completely, and quite rightly gives a penalty. But we've seen Mark Ring playing for Pontypool this year, kicking a lot of points, and he has just stroked the ball through when he's played for Pontypool. Let's hope he won't tighten up in the tension and do the same for Wales.
Certainly Kevin Phillips in a spot of bother. May well have been a self-inflicted injury. Doesn't look at all happy or comfortable. Just about to resume his place. A word of encouragement from the vice-captain, Robert Norster. Mark Ring, 295 points in domestic rugby. Has he struck it well? No, indeed. One wonders what the effect of that will be on Mark Ring's confidence. Didn't strike it at all well. And the penalty has dominated international rugby for so long. It is vital that those points go over. Phillips throws, but England have it. More coming around as Melville waits, midway between the 22 and the halfway line, inside the England half. And away come England. Probyn spearheading the England attack. And that's a concerted tried by England, but Melville not making the most of that ball. Well-run ball, hard-run ball, rather wasted by the England scrum half. Seven at the tail for Wales, Richie Collins. Alongside him, 8 is Dean Richards, 7 Peter Winterbottom. This one to the back. Moriarty won that one. Robert Jones quickly away to Jonathan Davies. Then Bowen, the pass is forward, so the crowd. Steve Hilditch waits for the advantage. And back they'll have to come after the forward pass. A bit of indecision. A couple of examples in the Welsh attack and also the Welsh defence. Melville with the put in. On the short side to Webb. That's the kick from the full-back. It looks a mighty useful one. It is. Plenty of space on that short side. And he was so precise. And that brings enormous pressure onto Wales. Great shouts all around Twickenham, urging the home team on. And this, of course, a rare visit for England into the Welsh 22. Kevin Phillips with a throw. Goes back to the England side. Melville, Cusworth. They miss out Carling just to Sims. It's for Underwood to chase. Ryan Evans is there for Wales. All depends on the drop of the ball. Clement got a boot to it. That's relieved the pressure. And it's Richie Collins giving chase, but the ball has gone over the touchline. Well, Clement has been involved in a couple of instances. He's done nothing wrong so far, and certainly much relief from the huge Welsh crowd after that fly hack down towards the halfway line. Moore with a throw on the 10-metre line. This one won by Rowland Phillips. Robert Jones, the tester for John Webb. Webb underneath, takes it, calls for the mark, and it's awarded.
It was a good change of tactics by Robert Jones, because Wales have moved the ball every time, but he decided to test the Bristol full-back, and in all credit, Webb was not found wanting.
Webb, when we look at the far side, a bit of a breeze gathering up at Twickenham, but it's a safe kick into touch, not a lengthy one. Wales to throw in. A quick discussion with his colleagues as to why he chose this particular side. Kevin Phillips with the throw, but again England have it. Beginning to dominate this facet of play. As Melville waits just on the 10-metre line, Orwin comes away too. And the charge is on from Dooley. The pick up by Melville, and on again to Skinner. Melville to John Orwin. He's taking on the Welsh three-quarters. Winterbottom is there. It's well-won ball for Melville. May retiring. Accidentally offside. Naturally, the Twickenham crowd don't agree.
And that was the best bit of forward play we've seen from England, with Orwin very much in the van there, charging, driving at John and Davies, and laying the ball back perfectly there for the England backs to use.
Certainly, England will take great encouragement from the amount of ball that they've been winning in the lines out.
It was very noticeable on the last Welsh throw-in that Phillips threw for Norster. He went slightly behind Norster, and he was there, but Skinner, the tall man, who took it perfectly and laid the ball back.
Still no score at Twickenham. Melville feeds. Cusworth waits to Sims. Webb comes into the line. The chip is behind Hadley. And the band's defeating both Adrian Hadley and also the England skipper Mike Harrison. It's then a better period, and no doubt will give great encouragement to Mike Harrison. 7th time he's captained his country, but only the 2nd time in the Five Nations Championship. Collins won that one up to the front of the line, rather was it May. Ball is there, but not available. Got a little bit of momentum, England moving forward, giving them the next put in. Melville with a feed, good attacking position. Harrison lurking on the short side. There's the drive from England. The Welsh scrum in a spot of bother. And that's 4 or 5 metres that the England scrum have won. Tremendous drive. Melville out to Sims, the half break, and Ring got a hand to it. A couple of knock-ons, but it's all allowed to go on as Hilditch waits for the advantage. Jonathan Davies' fly hack. Play on, says referee Hilditch. Harrison picks up for England on the halfway line to the 10-metre line. Just looking for that support. Back inside it comes to Skinner. As Melville waits, there's all action to Cusworth. Up to John Webb. He's got Underwood outside if he can find him. Back inside. Winterbottom trying to get hold of the ball. Collins is there for Wales. Well, there are the bodies strewn all over the place. Players on their knees. And certainly one thing can be said, this match has not lacked pace.
No, and one had to notice that I thought there was a couple of knock-ons with each side there, but Mr. Hilditch let it go, and the ball was kicked ahead, and Harrison looked to move it again, but good tackling in the Welsh midfield by Ring and Bleddyn. Bowen, who received a bump there, but it's very encouraging that both sets of backs are willing to take each other on and looking to play an expansive game.
Indeed, a couple of injuries all around, and this one may be a serious injury too.
And there you see England looking to move the ball. There's a huge long pass by Les Cusworth, and John Webb's come in. He's a very elusive runner, tries to go on the outside, but again, good defensive play by Markling, who just holds on to him. There's a support play of Winterbottom, but there's where the ball is knocked forward, and the move comes from out.
Robert Norster really laying the law down. Bleddyn Bowen is the injured party, but a bit of a knock. And still receiving treatment from the Welsh physiotherapist, Tudor Jones, and indeed Kevin Phillips has been in the wars, received further treatment there, so there must be a question mark about his duration in this game.
I think that was very brave play by Kevin Phillips, because I believe he will go off, but he realises it's a scrum Wales ball and he wasn't going off. He wants to win his ball if he goes off, before he goes off.
So great doubt about Kevin Phillips. Robert Jones putting the ball in, the collapse of the scrum, the pick-up by Moriarty. Jones to Tony Clement, to Ieuan Evans. Evans with a kick, it's behind John Webb. Webb just shadowing the ball into the dead ball area. England then to restart. Phillips still on the field, receiving a fair amount of encouragement from Bob Norster, the vice-captain. Cusworth with a restart. Gourmet calls, it's taken by Paul Moriarty as Wales set it up. Robert Jones to Jonathan Davies. Switch of attack. Webb is underneath. It depends on Hilditch whether Jonathan Davies was impeded. The play is allowed to go on. This time Wales penalised for going over the top, no sight of the ball, and an opportunity lost for the Welsh camp. It certainly looks as if Kevin Phillips is either asking that he be given more treatment, or is that the end of his stay at Twickenham. Kevin Phillips of Neath, his 6th international. And there'll be a huge cheer from the Gwent contingent if Ieuan Watkins of Ebervale is called on as a replacement. It may well be that he's gone off for further treatment. A high kick from John Webb. John Webb with his 6th international for England. Mighty big fella, 6'2½". So the throw-in, this will be an interesting one for Staff Jones. And Ieuan Watkins, a great moment for the youngster from Ebbw Vale, winning his first cap. He's on the replacement bench against the American Eagles. Great mobility with the youngster from Ebbw Vale. Phil May hands down on to Rowland Phillips. The charge is on from Moriarty, but Wales not making much ground. But Robert Jones has it. Jonathan Davies to ring to Bleddyn Bowen, and just a fingertip away from good possession.
But just go back to Watkins, who came on there. Tremendous bit of play by Watkins, because from the first line out, he's got to get his throw in very accurate, and he found Phil May straight away. Good play by the Ebbw Vale man.
Melville with the put-in right on the halfway line. Still no score. A stalemate at Twickenham. The control from Dean Richards. The kick is by John Webb, and that's another good touch finder from John Webb. And Melville, that small little combination on the short side between Nigel Melville and John Webb, finding some space. Pressure again on Wales. 25 minutes of the first half gone. Still no score. The replacement hooker, Ieuan Watkins, to throw. That went to the front of the line. Norster went up for it. Wales may well have won some good possession. And Robert Jones making the most of it. Spiraling kick, but it's taken by Harrison to the halfway line. A speculative chip, that one. What a dangerous one. Tony Clement. And not a bad touch finder from young Tony Clement of Swansea. Certainly passed every test thrown at him so far. Moore on the far side, ready to throw. Ball coming back for Melville. There's a bit of space on that short side. That may well have been a little bit back on, but it's Winterbottom making the most of it. Moore is there, lending his support as well.
And that's the one phase of the game this afternoon that the English forwards have looked better than the Welsh, is when they drive in, flicking the ball up, and they look very strong when they're attacking the Welsh forwards.
So with all the talented three-quarters that Wales have at hand, without the ball they can do very little. The scrum just inside. The Welsh 22. Robert Jones with the feed. That's pretty low scrummaging on that far side as well. And Steve Hilditch just asking the two sets of front rows to give a bit of space, give it a bit of air as well. Robert Jones not satisfied with the placements of the tunnel on that far side, and receiving a little bit of criticism from the crowd for the delayed put-in. Robert Jones in. And the scrum looks a bit steady, a little bit low. There's Jonathan Davies with a nice little kick into touch, and that'll come as some relief to the Welsh supporters here. Not having seen much of Jonathan Davies so far. That will give you an indication of the way the possession is going to English hands. Brian Moore, who defeated the challenge of Graham Dawe to become England's #1 hooker. A free kick to Wales that time. And that free kick given for change of position in the line-out before the ball was thrown in. Jonathan Davies. It's a high kick which takes Wales into the England half. And how much he would like some good possession to bring his three-quarters into play. 7 with the back, Collins. 7 for England, Winterbottom. 8 in the red jersey is Paul Moriarty. That's the towering height away. Dooley going up for that one for England. And Norster on the deck that time, but Norster has the last word. Jonathan Davies, superb pick-up to Bleddyn Bowen. Ring is there too. Clement comes into the line, but the fly hack is by Bleddyn Bowen. Cusworth back there covering for England. But that's a rare opportunity for the Welsh three-quarters to show their pace. They've had a couple of opportunities, but handling has let them down.
Good play by Wales here, because Dooley had won the ball, but Wales snuggled back and look for this pick-up by Jonathan Davies. Brilliant pick-up, and then always looking to move it to get Clement to use his pace in the line.
But away come England again. The riposte is there. It's up to Carling, sings outside. Up to Harrison. Harrison against Hadley. Harrison checks his stride, comes back inside, looks for support. Melville is there. Sims is there, but the touch judge on the far side. His flag is up. But that was a tremendous counter-attack by England. So the forward pass penalising England as they threaten the Welsh line. And it's Robert Jones. England wheeling the scrum around. They're going to make life difficult for Paul Moriarty. The Wales have it. And that's the kind of pressure that was on Robert Jones. And the ball that time, not a pleasant one for the Swansea scrum half. England's throw 10 metres outside the Welsh 22-metre line. Still a glorious afternoon at Twickenham. The sun has deserted the playing surface. And certainly over the East End they're enjoying the warmth of the sunshine as England win yet another line out, and the drive is on from England. That's more the hooker going through over the 22-metre line. Looking for the secondary possession. Picked up by Peter Winterbottom. He charges towards the Welsh midfield. Up comes Dean Richards. He's still going. Melville to Cusworth on the far side. He could well have passed that time, but it's Orwin. But the ball comes to Jonathan Davies and kicks it just about anywhere. Richards. Oh, certainly England posing all kinds of challenges. And on the run of play, surely a try must come England's way.
Well, it's not very noticeable. The forwards have got on top. Dean Richards has been driving, Orwin has been driving, and there they went perfect ball for their backs. Unfortunately, their backs didn't use it, but one has to compliment both sides. They're trying to play good constructive football, good defence, keeping them out.
Difficult position for Paul Moriarty and Robert Jones, where it comes to Jonathan Davies. Opts for the unexpected side, and it's a super kick. Oh, that one travelled a vast distance above the East End and safely into touch.
Just what the Welsh forwards needed. They were under pressure, and that was a magnificent 50-metre kick by Davies.
Moore with the throw-in. Wales having salvaged some territory. Certainly this an aspect of the game that England have so far dominated. And here they win another line-out ball. Dean Richards with the charge. Melville to Winterbottom. He was lying off the ball, and the charge on from Skinner as well. But England lying on the ball, killing the ball, and going over the top, and so the penalty to Wales.
And that's a change of tactic recently we've seen from England. They're driving close to the heart of the Welsh line, the Welsh scrum. Big forwards, good on the charge, making a few yards, and then laying the ball back, hoping to suck in the Welsh cover defence. And there's Roger Utley. He's not looking very, very happy. Great coach, Roger Utley, and I'm sure he would have liked a few points on the board as far as England are concerned. But as I said earlier, tremendous defence by both sides.
Roger Utley then being able to afford a smile. Still no score at Twickenham. Wales having had to call on a replacement. Ieuan Watkins of Vale as hooker. And as the two teams go away to have a mid-match conference, Mike Harrison, we had a quick word with Dean Richards, now joining the pack, just to see how things are going up front. And the report should be that the England pack are doing quite well, thank you. But the penalty is to Wales. The move on from Phil May onto Moriarty and the crash ball. Now Wales should have it. Robert Jones to Jonathan Davies. They miss out a man to Ring. Anthony Clement. Ring goes through with the pick-up though. Ring still going. Back he comes to, no indeed, to Ieuan Evans. Nearly got a hand to it. Webb on the counter-attack. But the knock-on spotted by Steve Hilditch. And down they go. And so far, on the pattern of play, some of the best opportunities are the half chances that Wales have created in the three quarters. Penalty going to England. The scrum being taken down by Wales. Norster just checking as to why the penalty was given. John Webb, and that's not going to reach touch unless the bounce is kind, but it's a very dodgy bounce indeed. To Clement, the counter-attack is on from Ring up to Hadley. Hadley, Cusworth coming up for the tackle. Hadley up against Mike Harrison. Oh, that's brave counter-attacking. That's exactly the kind of game that Wales need to employ against this form of domination of England.
And tremendous play by Robert Jones there. He got back to cover in the first place and saved the situation. The ball was bouncing awkwardly, and quickly the Welsh backs looked to move it yet again. Ball out to Hadley, but excellent defensive play by England, stopping the Welsh on the touchline. There's we see Robert Jones, good covering scrum half. Look, under pressure, but a lovely flick pass away. And there's Clement. He's played with lots of confidence this afternoon, showing his pace. And Mark Ring, a good early pass to Hadley, saying, go on, have a go, let's see what you can do. There's good covering by Les Cusworth, but Hadley's a very strong man, goes through that tackle, but Harrison's there, and good support play on the inside by Wales. But again, the English cover defence snuffed the move out.
Wales on the possession count will be well satisfied that they've kept in contact with the England side, and by keeping them scoreless. There's the youngster, Ieuan Watkins, the replacement hooker. Great moment for him, winning his first cap. And alongside him, the debut cap as well, Phil May of Llanelli. The halt in proceedings is for treatment to John Orwin, the England lock, and a couple of the Welsh boys as well.
But in no way does the nil-nil. But in no way does the nil-nil score sort of have an indication of how the game is going, because both sides have played attractive football. It's been the marvellous defence that has kept the score at 0-0.
Brian Moore with the throw, right on the halfway line. Steve Hilditch not quite satisfied with the alignment of the line out. 36 minutes gone in this first half. Moriarty wins at the tail. The penalty goes to England this time. A little bit of pushing at the tail of the line out. One wonders whether, with a score at 0-0, whether John Webb might attempt a long one. No, indeed. On the touchline, not very gainly. So Ieuan Watkins checking the line-out signals with the main line-out jumper, Bob Norster. Norster, the only member of the Welsh pack to have played on this ground before. Watkins throws, Moriarty tried to get a hand to it, but it's Melville on the short side, looking for the support. May takes for Wales. A half chance there for Phil May at the front of the line-out. Moore again, an orthodox line-out. So go Wales, but Winterbottom is there to salvage the possession. Watkins trying to get through as well, but here comes Dooley. Giant of a man, the Blackpool Tower onto Moore, onto Kevin Sims. This is an opportunity. Sims back inside of Rendall. Rendall underneath the shadow of the Welsh post. Is Dean Richards. The charge is on from England. England wait for possession. Melville burrowing away, but the opportunity lost surely. No, Cusworth gets the ball away, but England making a hash of things. Davies tried to tackle, and the ball coming to Rory Underwood and into touch. Well, about 4 or 5 lost opportunities for England, and that becomes no small relief to the Welsh contingent.
Well, I thought at one stage that Dean Richards was going to go under the post. It's tremendous tackling. I thought Robert Norster may have been offside there, but Mr. Hilditch, it's very loose. He's let the ball and the game go ahead there, but Wales very lucky to escape that particular incident.
Suddenly the Welsh crowd have found their voice. Rowland Phillips wins the line-out ball, coming through and cleaning up for Wales. He's done that role effectively. England offside, and the penalty to Wales. Jonathan Davies thinking about taking the penalty, then wisely giving the opportunity to the left-footed captain, Bowen. It's the safety first kick to touch. Ryan Moore having difficulty as well, hearing above the din of the crowd. Bowen shouts the instructions to his fellow three-quarters. But away come England Probyn on the charge. And over the 10-metre line. This is good work by England. Melville has good sight of the ball onto Winterbottom. Tries to take on Collins. They're playing basketball in the middle, and suddenly it's Moriarty. On to Richard Collins, and he is a basketball player. On goes Collins towards the halfway line. Wales have it. It's Rowland Phillips on the far side. And the ball picked up by Jonathan Davies. He's got Clement outside. Jonathan Davies, is he going to get there all on his own? Tackle short of the line. And the ball comes to England's hands. And that's the best scoring opportunity for Wales. And what a superb break. And he may well have been injured in the process.
A tremendous play by Rowland Phillips here, getting the ball, moving it, and look at that pass, brilliantly taken by Jonathan Davies. And here's the first chance, he's had a little bit of room, and just watch him use his pace. Dean Richards hasn't got a hope of catching him, shows a half dummy, and it's odds on that he's going to score. But again, magnificent defence by England. Webb gets back there to halt the fly-in, fly-off, and Cusworth does a cleaning-up job. We can see it again, a beautiful half dummy, and look at this man's pace. He looks as if he's going to score, but as both sides have done all afternoon, tremendous defence, a last gasp tackle, and Cusworth back to tidy up for England. Tremendous play by both sides. We can see it. Phillips does very, very well, but just watch this taking the pass by Davies. Grabs it from behind, and then he goes on the outside run. Beautiful half dummy, and look, 22 metres ago, you'd put your money on Davies, but Webb showing tremendous pace, gets back there and pulls off a superb tackle. And England back in numbers. Cusworth very relieved to get the ball into touch.
There's certainly a buzz around Twickenham after that marvellous break by Jonathan Davies, but we await to see whether he's fit and okay and ready to resume his outside half berth. It's certainly the best opportunity the Wales have had in this first half. A scoreless first half. And Wales very much dependent on that kind of breakout from defence. Jonathan Davies seems to be okay, hobbling a little bit, but he certainly won't want to leave this stage.
And I think the English doctor wants him to leave the field, but Davies is having none of this, and knowing Jonathan Davies, if they win the ball here, I wouldn't be surprised if he drops for goal.
Certainly no shortage of outside halves on that field for Wales. Limited line-out. Watkins to throw. Moriarty at the tail. Is taken by Norster to Jonathan Davies. And on to Rowland Phillips, setting it up on the 22-metre line as Wales drive. This a better period for the Welsh shirts. Norster, one-handed to Jones. Jonathan Davies, the drop goal. It's gone to the left. And that's the second attempt that has gone a little wrong for Jonathan Davies.
And one has to say he is limping rather badly. Didn't take the ball on the burst there, just gave it to Phillips. And you see, perfect ball by the Welsh pack, laid back, a lot of time for Davies, aims his shot, but he pulls it to the left of the post.
Phil May tries to get a hand to the ball, but it's England possession. But suddenly Wales with a forward drive. Robert Jones tries to get it away somehow, but Moriarty succeeds. It's picked up by Mark Ring, just toying with the England defence, toying with Skinner. That's the high kick, meant for Webb. Webb takes safely. And the good left-footed kick into touch. Stephen Hilditch having a quick check of the time gone. Having a quick word too with Mark Ring at the tail of the line-out. Ieuan Watkins Watkins all set to throw the ball in, but Mark Ring is called for some kind of treatment. He's injured after that latest Welsh attack. Jones, the Welsh physiotherapist, on the field, may have had a smack in the jaw. Jonathan Davies, though, the real main concern at the moment. And of course, should Jonathan Davies not be able to take a full part in this international, it could mean yet another new cap. Mike Hall of Bridgend coming on the field. Now into injury time. There have been a fair number of those in this first 40 minutes, but it's Watkins to throw. Norster, and that's a superb two-handed catch. That's what all the Wales wanted to see. Winterbottom, though, eventually getting a hold of possession on the 22-metre line. Melville waits. The kick out on the full. Melville just outside the 22-metre line.
And this is going to be very worrying for Wales, because it's Robert Norster, the main man in the middle of the line out. And again, taking my hat off to Ieuan Watkins, who's come on. He must be very nervous. In first cap, he found him brilliantly with a marvellous throw there. Norster drove through, but unfortunately lost the ball and got injured in the process. But it's vital for the Welsh cause that Bob Norster stays on and remains fully fit.
These indeed are worrying times. Some of the main personnel in the Welsh camp, Bob Norster, Jonathan Davies, and Mark Ring now carrying injuries. And one replacement already on in Watkins for Kevin Phillips. Watkins having checked the signal, and exactly where Bob Norster might want it, but it's taken well two-handed by Phil May. And Wales beginning to win a little bit of line-up possession. Robert Jones to Jonathan Davies, to Mark Ring, to Bleddyn Bowen, and he hit the head of Ieuan Evans, who come in as the extra man, but it's taken by Dean Richards. Got the whistle from Steve Hilditch has gone, and that time Richie Collins a little bit ahead of play, and so the penalty goes to England. Webb with a relieving kick to touch, but it's been touched in flight. Away will come to Welsh hands indeed. Bowen to Moriarty. Moriarty on beyond the 10-metre line. England may well have been offside that time, but the ball had come out, says referee Hilditch. Cusworth with a speculative kick over the head of Hadley, and the ball into touch. And that indeed is the half-time whistle. Well, what a splendid half, full of excitement, full of incident. The main worry for Wales are the number of injuries to their main people, Bob Norster and Jonathan Davies. With a half-time score at Twickenham, England 0, Wales 0.
A scoreline I don't suppose many of you would have really justified or certainly thought so. Steve, what about that first half then?
Well, considering it's still 0-0, it's tremendously exciting.
That England line-out was very, very impressive. Almost a bit of a shambles, wasn't it?
I'm surprised the referee has let so much go in the line-out that I think both sides are just taking advantage now. And I think unless he gets a grip of it, you know, it's going to remain a shambles the second half.
Yeah. The Welsh scrimmage going back early in the first half, that was a worrying sign.
Well, I thought they did fairly well early on, but there were signs towards the end of the first half that the pressure was beginning to tell.
Do you think England made the most of the possession they had there?
No, I think their failings in Paris are back again. There were a couple of occasions there when they had 2 or 3 men over, and they just weren't taking the right decisions at the right time. Mind, they were desperately unlucky.
Well, coming just as we were coming to the end of that first half, of course, Wales looked as if they might well have scored. It came from a ruck, Steve.
Yes, after all that pressure, we thought, well, if we do get the ball, we've got to do something, and out it popped. And really, that ball that Jonathan Davies took was out of this world. And who thought it wasn't a try from there? John Webb did extremely well. He's had a fabulous first half for England, and how he got back and caught Jonathan there, I'll never know.
Yeah. One wonders how Jonathan got injured there, but the surprising thing, I thought, was that he was actually caught with about 8 or 9 metres to go. But look, here he goes again. It was a good break by Rowland Phillips. Even better pickup. Look at that pickup by Jonathan.
Yes, he did very well there. He's gone past the back row. John Webb was at the turn, and he's coming across. Jonathan, I think, thought he'd got there. I don't think he counted on John Webb turning and coming back at him.
And Anthony Clement did well outside him, didn't he? But I think the fact was that Jonathan had gone there, hadn't he? He'd actually said, right, I'm going for the line.
He'd made his decision to go. He put his head back and went. But unfortunately for Wales, Webb just got back and caught him.
Well, we might see it better from here, from behind the post. Looking, there's Rowland Phillips in now. And the pass is behind Jonathan Davies, but what a take. Now, this is where you would think he would actually go and not be caught, but look at that tackle.
There's tremendous cover tackle. Now, look at the number of English defenders that got back to help him.
Steve, John Webb at the back, he hasn't put a foot wrong, has he?
Well, after the French game, he didn't do so well out there. He missed some kicks, but today he's had an exceptional game, and he's kept the score to 0-0.
Well, it's just about time to go back before the second half starts, so let's go back to Twickenham and rejoin our commentary team for the second half, Martin Williams and Phil Bennett.
The encouraging note from Twickenham is that Jonathan Davies is still on the field, has resumed his position at fly half. It'll be Mark Ring to restart. 0-0 the score, no scores, plenty of incident. It's a breathless day at Twickenham. No real problems for the kickers, but the drop goal attempts having gone a little astray so far. Steve Hilditch checks his watch for the second half. Mark Ring is ready. So too are Wales as the ball drops for Dooley. Dooley slipping the ball back neatly to Orwin, but it's difficult ball for Melville. Richards will have to salvage as Wales drive through. That's a good drive by the Welsh. As Jones waits on the short side, ready for the relieving kick to touch by Melville or Cusworth. Cusworth hasn't quite found touch. Clement takes possession on the halfway line. The up and under is meant to test his opposite number, John Webb. Webb takes, calls for the mark. Certain air of confidence about John Webb's display. The man from the north, now the medical student at Bristol. Webb safely into touch. So England will be a little bit annoyed after that first half fill that they haven't got points on the board.
Yes, they had a few chances really, but it's worth noting there was only one shot at goal, one penalty kick at goal which Mark Ring missed. Really exciting play by both teams, but as I keep on saying, some extra defence, but I can't see them keeping each other out for the next 40 minutes.
Ian Watkins, shortened line out called by Wales, 10 metres short of the 22-metre line. Phil May wins the ball. Jonathan Davies onto Rowland Phillips. Onto Richie Collins, but they haven't gone over the game line. David Young gets the ball back to Robert Jones. That's a kick for Webb, which he'll marshal into the dead ball area. So Robert Jones, possibly that time, wasting hard-won possession for Wales. Cusworth to restart. Robert Jones in his 18th cap. This man Les Cusworth his 12th. Ball falls for Norster. Dooley went through, but it's Moriarty on the charge. On the short side, the grubber kick does well, gains a little bit of ground for Wales. Paul Moriarty alongside Dean Richards. Somebody back at the tail of the line out. Richards half an inch taller than the Swansea man. Ryan Moore with a throw, and the Welsh supporters giving their team all the encouragement that they can muster. But England again winning the line out at the crucial moment. Webb with the left foot. But has it gone into touch? Ryan Evans misjudging that one, and the lap going Webb's way. Ryan Evans will be annoyed with that. Completely misread it. Steve Hilditch having a quick look to see how much space there is between the warring factions in that line-out. Owen Doyle is the touch judge on the far side. Watkins with the throw. Norster takes that well for Wales. Moriarty turns around, but they don't gain any ground that time. So Wales really have to get over the advantage line, get over the gain line to give that drive some kind of authority. Robert Jones waits. Jonathan Davies, Mark Ring, and Ring taking it really nowhere, but Robert Jones calling the options. Jonathan Davies, and the tackle by Skinner, a hard one on Jonathan Davies. And rather noticeable in that movement, Phil Bennett, that Jonathan Davies was merely a passenger, was hopping around, hardly able to walk.
Yes, he took the ball beautifully and gave it out in one action, but it was noticeable again how quick both back rows were there to snuff the moves out.
Brian Moore with the throw. England win, and the cleaning up work being done by Probyn. Melville waiting for the feed, but it's the field drive, and Melville finds the space. It's Nigel Melville up against Tony Clement. Melville going for the corner. Has he got the speed to get there on his own? Looking for support. Evans comes back with a crucial tackle. Ring is there, and Ring is upended, and surely that's a penalty. A superb break by Nigel Melville.
What a magnificent run from this man who's supposed to be injured and has got a sore ankle. Tries to go outside Clement. Tremendous pace, but again, good covering by Clement. Gets back there. And look at number 13, Mark Ring. He did ever so well to rescue the situation as well for Wales.
Certainly the man who was written off has made more comebacks, quite possibly, than Frank Sinatra. Certainly showing his pace for England then. Nigel Melville of Wasps is a length cap for England. The penalty having gone into touch, but England will take great comfort and great heart from that shattering move by Nigel Melville. To the tail of the line out. That's where we find Wade Dooley. Those scrum halves poised to take possession. It could be anybody's. Oh, it's a bit of a wrestling match at the back there. Wales get the penalty. England holding the ball on the ground. And the number 3 up is Jeff Probyn, and the penalty going Wales' way. Jeff Probyn, only his second cap for England, and away come Wales as Mark Ring, finding a little bit of space, looking for the support.
And again, quite easily, Bowen could have put that safely into touch, but he's looking for the gaps, looking for the spaces. Unfortunately for Ring, he threw a pass, nobody on the outside of him.
So the Welsh three-quarters seizing on every available opportunity of running the ball at the England defence. And that's why, because England have been dominating, and again Stephen Hilditch finding cause for a penalty. An awful lot of barging and pushing going on in these lines up. The decision of the Welsh captain is to move the ball. Well, they hadn't really committed their men, and that may have been lost ball. The Wales have it to Jonathan Davies. He sees some space over the head of Dean Richards. Oh, my word! Precision kicking from Jonathan Davies. He may be injured, but he knows his way around Twickenham.
And that could be the key to the start of the second half. Not playing adventurous rugby, putting in 40 metres, and look where they've got England, right in the corner and got them by the throat.
Wales' best opportunity in this second half, and a difficult throw-in for Brian Moore. He'll go surely, but it's Welsh ball came back on the Welsh side, rather untidy. Winterbottom went over. It was available for Wales, but away goes Melville. Certainly after the break, a saving kick to touch from Nigel Melville. The pressure over momentarily for England, but great play by the England pack and by their supportive scrum half, Melville.
Yes, there was good play by Melville, a superb kick, but the brave man who went down and won the ball was Peter Winterbottom, number 7.
Ieuan Watkins having a quick chat with the vice-captain, Robert Norster. I'm sure they haven't had much opportunity to practice together, the thrower in and the main line-out jumper. Not too bad that time as Norster takes. And the penalty going Wales' way. And could this be an opportunity for a long attempt by Tony Clement.
Surely there must be a kick at goal from this position.
The consultation gives Mark Ring a long-range opportunity. It's a mighty distance. He's going to go for 3 points. The distance, a good 45 metres, allowing for the angle. A little bit of breeze has suddenly emerged as Ring starts. It looks encouraging, just short. So close, just a couple of feet, and he would have been the Welsh hero of the hour. Still a scoreless international. Cusworth drops out. Rowland Phillips tries to go through for Wales. Bill May is there, but the whistle has gone for the knock-on. The scrum some 10 metres outside the England 22-metre line. Melville not satisfied with the alignment of the scrum, and down they go. Melville with the feed. There's the drive from the Welsh, and England's come in all sorts of problems. Cusworth with a kick to touch. Well, certainly the Welsh front row would have enjoyed that. Stark Jones and Phillips and David Young, but Cusworth with the relieving kick to touch. 7 at the tail, Collins. In front of him, Paul Moriarty. And number 20, Ieuan Watkins for Wales. Watkins to throw. It's taken by Norster. He's having a commanding role in the second half. Jonathan Davies. Mark Ring, they miss out a man to Tony Clement. It is robbed with the ball by Harrison. The ball comes to Richie Collins. He'll need the support. England will try and turn him around, which they've succeeded in doing so. Harrison to Cusworth. Sims to Carling on the far side. Underwood up against Ieuan Evans. Underwood trying to go round the fleshy man. But that time, it's even Stevens. And what a battle these two wings have had. Two exceptionally talented wings in Rory Underwood for England and Ieuan Evans of Wales. So a momentary pause. And one can understand some of these players welcoming these pauses. Ieuan Watkins to throw. England on the attack, some 2 or 3 metres outside the Welsh 22, but Wales now beginning to win some decent line-out possession. Jonathan Davies being challenged that time by the England hooker, number 2, Brian Moore.
Yes, tremendous pressure on Davies there. Moore came throwing him on the narrow side, and he had Winterbottom breathing down him on the outside. And I think really the game has been played at such a fast and furious pace. It's the first pack of forwards who are going to crack up. The ones that don't last the pace, then that side will take advantage of it.
England having held their mid-second half match conference, knowing full well that this is a good attacking opportunity for them on the Welsh 22-metre line. More throws, but Moriarty takes as Robert Jones waits for the delivery. Probyn trying to go through there, but Rowland Phillips finding a little bit of space on the short side of the ball. England offside, being caught to the trap, and the penalty going to Wales. Welsh captain Bleddyn Bowen, left-footed into touch. Bleddyn Bowen will know that they need some of this line-up possession to come along the 3 quarters to challenge the England midfield. That's the 10-metre line inside the Welsh half. Dooley won that one one-handed going over, and through comes Rendall for England. And on they charge Dooley, second time in the movement. As England goes searching for the ball. Steve Hilditch spotted an infringement on the far side. It could well be a warning to one of the Welsh players. Indeed, it's a warning to Ieuan Watkins. And Robert Norster showing his annoyance with the young Welsh hooker there. He knows full well that this is going to be a low-scoring game, and that has given England an opportunity of 3 points.
We can see that England driving in. There's Dooley going in. Let's look very carefully. There's Brian Moore going down, laying the ball back there. Let's have a look for the Welsh forward play. Mr. Hildish is right on the spot. He's watching there. The ball seems to be very slow, and there you can see a boot or two going in, and I think that's what he's penalised Ieuan Watkins for.
There we can see the pointed finger of Steve Hilditch, ideally positioned to see that lack of discipline by the replacement forward Ieuan Watkins. John Webb. Total concentration. Webb starts his run, a little dance back. As he got there, the flags stay down. An opportunity lost for England. So the place kickers not having it all their own way. Wales and England missing their attempts. So Wales now will have to look to their mettle and certainly not give away any more penalty attempts inside their own half. Brian Moore, his first cap against Scotland last season, the England hooker. Dooley takes in the middle, his 17th cap for England. Had a crucial role in the first half. As England wait for the possession. Melville, caught by Rowland Phillips. The Wales have done well, and away comes Ieuan Watkins, up towards the 10-metre line. A good drive over by the Welsh and Robert Norster, just handing off Les Cusworth. And away come Wales into the England half. Looking for the possession, Robert Jones to Jonathan Davies, out to Bleddyn Bowen, to Ring on the far side, to Tony Clement, to Ieuan Evans. Underwood with a superb covering tackle though. Carling is there for England. But Wales that time just going across field, not really being able to penetrate.
But what a magnificent drive by the Welsh pack. Norster was in the van, Phil May was in the van, Watkins was there, driving forward, laying perfect ball back for the backs to use.
Still 0-0 as Melville sweeps the ball away to Cusworth. That's a testing kick for Tony Clement. Takes it well and makes space. Tony Clement on the run, trying to link up, finds Bleddyn Bowen. Bowen trying to find Richie Collins. And suddenly the movement breaking down in midfield, but Wales have it and they have an overlap. Jonathan Davies to Mark Ring, to Tony Clement. He's got Hadley outside. Adrian Hadley up against John Webb. Back to Mark Ring, to Adrian Hadley. Hadley will go over the line. Hadley's going to score. What a try! What a try! And what a combination between Mark Ring and Adrian Hadley of Lady Mary High School in Cardiff. A magnificent try.
And magnificent play by the Welsh backs. Clement has started it all, and it's all about good straight running and support play. Look at Clement using his pace. Lovely play by Hadley and good support play by Mark Ring. But look at the intelligence of Hadley. He comes back on the scissors and then he straightens the line back out, showing tremendous pace, and he's over for a magnificent Welsh try. And Tony Clement had taken advantage of that bad kick by Les Cusworth, and it was good play by the backs. We'll see it again. Look at the pace Clement puts in there. Tremendous burst of speed. Lovely inside pass Hadley, and Ring, the clever player, looking for the support in Hadley again, showing tremendous strength, pace, going over for a tremendous try for Wales.
Mark Ring, with all of Wales supporting the kick, almost willing it over. It's a difficult one, and it's gone to the right of the post, so Wales will have to be satisfied with a try by Adrian Hadley.
Here we can see it again. You see ruck ball, and it's come out, and Jonathan Davies uses it well. Good straight handling by the back, simple stuff, and there's Clement adding his pace to it. But Hadley could have easily gone outside and been tackled, but he looked for the support, and there's the scissors. And look at his angle of running now, straightening back out. Bleddyn Bowen roaring him on, and he's over for a great try.
What will be the England response? But away come Wales again. It's Ring again, the creator of that try. Oh, plenty of confidence in the Welsh three-quarters. Adrian Hadley, the hero of Wales's battle against Australia in the World Cup, which gained them third place. Now the hero of Twickenham. Stephen Hilditch having checked with his touch judge as we await for Rowland Phillips.
And I don't think he's going to give the flanker the time to put his boot on. I think he's either going to wave play on, or certainly he's going to stop and take time off.
Play then will go on as Rowland Phillips attends to his footwear. Brian Moore to throw. Is taken well by Dean Richards at the tail. Melville waits. The drive is on from England and the ball made available. Winterbottom, that's a bad pass to Cusworth. The Wales had lined themselves offside.
And that was a crucial decision by Mr. Hilditch to wave play on then when Phillips was putting his boot back on, because the ball was thrown long and Dean Richards took it comfortably where Phillips would have been challenging for the ball.
Jonathan Webb, not a difficult kick on a windless day towards the sunshine of the massive crowd behind the posts in front of the North Stand. Jonathan Webb, who's kicked 49 points in 5 games for England. Not successful to date, but this is his easiest opportunity so far. Halfway through the second half, Wales in the lead. 4 points to 0, but this could well reduce that lead. John Webb, he slotted in comfortably, but no, against the post. Wales under pressure. Robert Jones away. Winterbottom failed to get hold of the ball. Well, that was such a crucial kick, and that will not have raised the hearts of England at all.
Struck it beautifully, head still, seemed to be going over, but there, bang, smack against the post, and relief for Wales.
Relief indeed. 4 points to 0 in the lead. More to throw, just inside the Welsh half. Looking for Dooley and finding the Blackpool Tower. The ball coming back on the Welsh side. It's awfully untidy, all scrabbled possession. Robert Jones away at the whistle from referee Steve Hilditch, signalling that it will be a line-out. And that slight breeze has now departed once again. A very still day at Rugby Football's headquarters. Dooley takes that one angle. That is typical ball for England. And the Probyn going to the Welsh. So down they go, just on the 10-metre line. Robert Jones waiting for the possession, and the penalty going Wales is made. Robert Jones absolutely delighted. Jonathan Davies on the 10-metre line. Right-footed, and I gather we're having some slight sound problems from Twickenham. We apologise for that. Wales 4 points to 0 in the lead in this 93rd meeting between the two sides. Brian Moore to throw. Midway between the England 22 and the halfway line. Moore throws, is tapped back on the Welsh side. Moriarty takes to the tail. Robert Jones waits as Norster adds his weight. Phillips, Jonathan Davies, the pick-up by Mark Ring. That may well have been touched in flight, but it's a difficult kick for Webb to chase. Webb, though, safely into touch, ideally positioned for that kind of kick from Mark Ring. Wales now reducing this line out. Norster completely in charge, having a good second half, really come into his own against the monster from Fylde way Dooley. Norster taps Jonathan Davies to Rowland Phillips. He's got Collins outside him. And suddenly it comes to England and Jet Probyn. Melville waits for the possession. And Skinner takes the bang on that far side.
And once again we saw there that Rowland Phillips drove in, laid the ball back there, but who got there first was number 7 Winterbottom and stole the ball for England.
Once again, Wales forced to reshuffle their front row with Watkins coming on as the replacement. In fact, only in 2 of the last 15 internationals have Wales been able to field the same front row. Steve Hilditch asking Nigel Melville to readjust the England scrum slightly. Back it comes to Webb. Very nearly charged down by Robert Jones. Well, that's a massive kick from John Webb of Bristol. And that'll give his forwards some encouragement to get back into the battle. Travelling a goodly distance of some 45 metres. The Irish referee asking for some separation. Ieuan Watkins now beginning to find his men in this Welsh line-out. Lob ball looking for Norster, finding the big Cardiff man as well, and away comes Robert Jones onto Richie Collins, bowls over Cusworth, on it comes to David Young, the young mobile prop from Swansea, on the short side to Jonathan Davies, the switch of attack, being chased by Skinner. Ring is on the far side, if Jonathan Davies can give the ball to Ring now. Ring in possession, Tony Clement in front of his man. Ring looking back inside for Paul Moriarty, finding the man, Collins to Rob Norster. The pass out to Bowen. Bowen back inside to Adrian Hadley. Is he going to get his second try? Hadley's going to make it. The second try for Adrian Hadley. And all of Wales at Twickenham erupts. Well, my word, it didn't look on, but they made the most of it.
Here's the key to the whole movement, the switch back by Jonathan Davies, and look at him using his tremendous pace. He's beating Skinner on the outside, and he draws the man, but Mark Ring does very well. He comes back in on the inside, looking for support, but the crucial moment comes here. He's tackled, but he still makes the ball available by throwing it out, and good play by the forwards. They deserve all the credit in the world here. They keep it alive. Bleddyn Bowen's there, and look at the work done again by Hadley, getting the ball, beats one tackle, the English captain. Cusworth seems to have him, but he shows strength there, and he's going into the corner for another great try for Wales.
Great delight all around from the Welsh contingent. The Welsh scarves, the Welsh flags waved in salute to Adrian Hadley's second try at Twickenham. And yet again, the responsibility of the conversion will fall on the shoulders of Mark Ring, as Richie Collins receives a little bit of attention.
Again, there's the switch from Jonathan Davies going to the outside of Skinner, creating room there, and a lovely time pass which is taken Underwood out the game. Here's Mark Ring coming back inside. He's tackled, but look, he flicks the ball, keeping it alive. And good play by Collins and Norster. 2 tremendous efforts by the forwards. Very fast pace, inside by Bowen, and there's Hadley's strength, away from Cusworth and over in the corner.
Kick not turning in at all, so Wales will have to rest on the 8-point lead. Adrian Hadley very much the hero of the hour. Cusworth starts, taken by Collins on the far side. And the scrum going to England. We'll come back on the Welsh side, but England doing well to smuggle the ball that time. 28 minutes of the second half gone. Wales in the lead. 8 points to 0. And away come England. Melville to Cusworth, comes to Sims. Sims, the chip. Harrison is after a hit, didn't quite get hold of it. That spelt danger, being shadowed there by Adrian Hadley.
And what's been very evident this afternoon, England have won a lot of ball, taking the wrong decision sometimes in midfield, and I don't think their outside half or two centres have really threatened the Welsh back division.
The option having been given to Wales. Penalty awarded, and Bleddyn Bowen opting for the kick. Close to the touchline to be taken by Jonathan Davies, with the right foot, of course. And just curling that one in sufficiently to give Wales a little bit of extra yardage. Limited line-out called by England, and that'll give great encouragement to Rob Norster. Certainly has come into this game with a vengeance in the second half. Phil long solid way Dooley, the difference in height, but Norster winning it to Jonathan Davies. Straight out to Mark Ring. Ring taking the kicking option that time, and it's a good kick. That shows all the talent of a confident man who plays outside half Saturday in, Saturday out.
That's exactly the truth, because here he is in the centre, can kick beautifully at fly half, and Davies is giving the ball and Ring's putting the Welsh team right down there.
More with the throw. The problems with England. Ball won by Wales, and Rowland Phillips doing the cleaning up work so efficiently for Wales. Jonathan Davies has seen a bit of a gap on the short side. Thinks again, and the high Gary Owen is for Webb. The ball coming back on the England side. Carling is in the middle. Wales trying to turn the England centre around, but the ball will not come out of there, says Hilditch, and it's a Welsh put in.
What's the odds here? In front of the post, 20 metres out. We said before the interval that Jonathan Davies had injured his leg. I wonder, will he seal this with a drop goal here, or will he go for the attacking option on that narrow side?
2 attempts at a drop goal so far from Jonathan Davies. This could well be the third. Robert Jones, Jonathan Davies, the drop goal. Is it there this time? It's there. No doubt about it this time. Third time for a Welshman, and it's between the posts.
And look at that scrum, rock solid all the time. They will look at Davies, takes his time, lines it up and strokes through the ball beautifully, and the moment it left his boot, it was going to be 3 points for Davies and Wales.
Quick restart by England by John Webb. Bowen, left footed, round the corner, gains a good touch. And suddenly the England forwards gathering for the line-out. They lost a little bit of zest, lost a bit of speed, and rather reluctantly come over towards the 22-metre line. However, they called a short line-out. Jonathan Davies. At the tail is John Orwin. Melville trying to bring England back into the game. Skinner's there too. Cusworth on the short side. Looking back inside, finds John Webb. Some great tackling by Wales though. Dean Richards is there too, as England go hunting for the possession. But it comes back on the Welsh side. Adrian Hadley, right-footed, high above the Twickenham ground, but the whistle's gone, and they'll have to go down for a scrum just inside the Welsh 22-metre line. Melville with the put in. Down they'll go once again, once Steve Hilditch has retired. It's a good attacking position for England, and how they would dearly like a try to get back into contention. Wales in the lead, but England attacking. Ball coming to Peter Winterbottom, and down they go once again. 11 points to 0 to Wales. Having survived the England onslaught in the first half, Wales coming back strongly in the second.
there we saw from that scrum, England attempting a back row movement, and I think that's indicative of the kind of lack of confidence they have in their midfield of Cusworth, Carlin and Sims. They've never really looked like breaching the Welsh midfield, and I think Melville said to Richards, let's go, let's attack close to the scrum, and once again, good Welsh defence has kept them out.
Stark Jones receiving some treatment. Don't think, Phil, there's hardly a Welshman on this field that hasn't had treatment of some kind during this match.
It's been a very fast and furious game, and one must remember this is Wales' first international, but England have had a game in Paris a couple of weeks ago, so it's bound to be very hard for the Welshmen, but they've stuck to their task, and it shows that some of the fitness sessions they've done with the Welsh squad have paid up there.
Wales then could well be heading for their 11th victory at Twickenham since the matches were played here since 1910. But this a penalty. That kind of indiscipline, giving away penalties, could well bring England back into this game. Rob Norster having a quick word with the Irish referee. So what are England going to do? They may well run it. Or, no indeed, they're going to go for 3. That's the decision of the skipper, Mike Harrison. I wonder, Phil Bennett, whether you would agree with Mike Harrison's decision to go for the potential of 3 points here.
Well, no, really. Webb hasn't kicked particularly well. He may well kick this, but I think they need 2 or 3 scores. I would have gone for the tap penalty and gone for the 6 points.
John Webb then, and should he get this one over, it'll be 11 points to 3, so England will still have to come back to score a goal plus another score to take the lead. Webb with a kick. It looks a comfortable one. It's over. It's 11 points to 3. And again, we see England having to rely on the penalty kick. And certainly that facet of play dominating international rugby over the past 20 years. Wales to restart. It may well be John Webb to receive the kick from Mark Ring. Ring starts. Wales will be determined now not to surrender that hold that they have on this game. A little shoving by the Englishman, and the penalty coming to Wales. One wonders whether the Welsh skipper, Bleddyn Bowen, will ask for a change of kicker. No, indeed. It's going to be a kick to be taken by Mark Ring, and I've no doubt Phil Bennett, he will take his time about this one.
Yes, and I think it's the right decision. Mark Ring is a very confident player. He's got bags of faith in his own ability, and he only needs to stroke this ball, and he'll put it between the posts for Wales.
Mark Ring, ball is popped over. Will he start the run? He's just appealing to the kind nature of Steve Hilditch that time. From 32 metres, he struck that one well, but it's gone to the left. So the misses by Ring, certainly proving to be costly. Cusworth with the restart is taken by Moriarty. Moriarty on the charge up towards the 22-metre line as Robert Jones waits for the service from his hard-working forwards. Orwin there trying his best to rob the Welsh of possession.
It was very interesting to listen to Tony Gray this week saying that Wales wanted to win the match by scoring tries, and they've had to do that because Ring has missed 5 kicks in all.
Robert Jones with the feed. The sunshine of a cold February afternoon. Quite chilling as Ieuan Evans goes up onto Dean Richards. The ball kicked out on the full, and back they come for a line out just outside the 22-metre line. Moore with the throw. May going through for Wales. The penalty going to England, and they'll have to take this quickly. they're going to have to run this ball deep inside their own territory. Cusworth onto Orwin, to Dean Richards. Moore is there in the cove, waiting to serve Nigel Melville, the scrum half, and England have men over. Suddenly, Winterbottom up to Sims, Sims to Harrison. A lost opportunity for the England captain. Great cheers, of course, by the Welsh.
Again, another example of how Orwin did well, Winterbottom did well, set it up for the backs, but again, the backs have let England down this afternoon. Slipshot handling, and Wales relieved that the ball went into touch.
Ieuan Watkins, what day it's going to be for him to remember. Debut at Twickenham and in a winning Welsh side, at least looks like that at the moment. But England hoping to come back. Melville onto Skinner, but the tackling of the Welsh is there. Cusworth out to Carling on the far side to Underwood. Underwood is going to make tracks. Underwood back inside onto Peter Winterbottom. Norster is there though, going over the ball, comes back to the Welsh side, and the possibility of the counter-attack to Bleddyn Bowen. Bowen looking for the support. Robert Jones playing basketball. Here's the try scorer Hadley, and Hadley will give chase, so too will Collins. But the bounce defeats Hadley and Collins, but excellent recovery by Wales.
I can tell you, it's breathless just watching the game up here. There was an occasion there where I thought Bleddyn Bowen inside his 22 could have stuck it safely to touch, but no, again showing his tremendous enterprise and venture, wanting to run the ball.
An injury on the far side. Rendall, the England prop, receiving some attention. Certainly there are some very tired individuals out on that park at the moment. Steve Hilditch having a quick word with John Orwin. Orwin just questioning how much time is left.
And he was, for me, outstanding yet again. Bob Norster saved that dangerous situation with Wales when he got his hand, when Peter Winterbottom went to set the ruck up. Norster had a great second half for Wales.
Ieuan Watkins with a throw. The limited line-out call by Wales, but back he comes from Moore of England. On to Melville, with a Welsh put in. England's knock-on, not giving them the possession that they require to come back and challenge Wales. Robert Jones, a quick heel that time, picked up by Moriarty. Collins is there. The back row have done well. They've cleaned up well for Wales. And here's another member, Rowland Phillips, supported again by Paul Moriarty. Robert Jones rummaging around. A bit of temperament being shown between Dooley and Richie Collins. Nothing too serious.
No, and just out of your picture, the Welsh backs are lying very, very deep, and Clement's not going to come in. I'd love to see him have one burst and perhaps seal this match and have a great last try.
Robert Jones in, the collapse of the scrum. Steve Hilditch going over there, checking that the forwards are okay. And a quick word too with the England front row, packing a little bit too low. Moriarty, here's the drive to Jonathan Davies. The dummy move onto Clement, Tony Clement. And about a yard in front of Ieuan Evans on that far side.
It's hard to imagine anything more inspiring for this Welsh side, showing just the one change from that which beat England. Paul Thorburn in for the injured Tony Clement, reducing to 3 the number of club standoffs in the Welsh back division. The Davies-Jones hinge that operates for the 18th time. Young Ieuan Watkins retains the hooking berth, and the captain for the 3rd time is Bleddyn Bowen. And Scotland hope to field the side who beat France, but they've one new cap in the Scotland B captain Andrew Kerr, who forms a venerable link with Roy Laidlaw, a physically imposing back division with 31 major international tries to their credit, in wake of a workmanlike pack with John Jeffrey replacing the injured Derek Turnbull. A denizen of the darkened world of the front row is the captain, Gary Callender. And as the band of the 3rd Volunteer Battalion of the Royal Regiment of Wales, the 24th 31st Foot, leave the field, the players get ready for the start of the match in ideal conditions, hardly any breeze at all, and there a rich experience in store for Frenchman Yves Brissy, 44-year-old ex-flanker with the Monteur Club, his first major international, and I tell you, he once sent off the Coventry and Bridgend hookers in the same match, so the fellas had better watch their P's and Q's down there. Referees assistants, France's World Cup referees René Urquet and Guy Moret. We're all set for this crucial 92nd match between Wales and Scotland as Gavin Hastings prepares to kick off. Fairly orthodox kick as up goes Phil May. Taken on by Roy Laidlaw. And Ivan Tukolo filled in as scrum half as he used to do for the Scottish schools. Gary Callender out there to Finlay Calder. Calder charging on, half caught there by Davies. Laidlaw, Scott Hastings, bad pass to Tate. Trouble there as Tate takes it. Scott Hastings goes on, and Scott Hastings is into the corner. The referee has decided that it has gone into touch and that it'll be a throw-in. And Scott Hastings denied a 5th try for Scotland. He got as close as this. He made a lovely inward jink. And there a good tackle by Mark Ring just pushed his feet into touch. Now a big moment for Ieuan Watkins, who came on, as you remember, as a replacement in the England match a fortnight ago for his first cap. The lad of Ebbw Vale. Watkins throws, it's loose, Calder has scored! Finlay Calder scores his first try for Scotland, 4 points to 0, and they've played just 1.5 minutes. It was one of those very simple ones. All the jumpers missed it, Moriarty as well, and Calder had a lovely bounce. Thank you very much.
Well, really, it's a soft try that Wales concede here, and it's Richard Moriarty who didn't pick the ball up there, and it enables Calder, who stood a good couple of yards at the back of the line out, with a simple task of just going down onto the ball to score the try.
And a great joy for Finlay Calder in his 60th international, giving Gavin Hastings this chance to convert the try. That's the shot from the taff end over at the west side. Hastings then, high enough, but wide. And so Finlay Calder, as I say, scoring his first try in his 16th international. And they'll be delighted up at Inverleith in Edinburgh with that one. That's it, with about 2 minutes gone.
But really, Scotland also had the opportunity when they missed a good overlap when Scott Hastings went into touch. So that exciting stuff in the first couple of minutes.
Jonathan Davies restarted. Taken in there by Cronin. Calder trying to drive away, helped by Norrie Rowan. Penalty to the Scots. And Robert Norster is pulled away there by Finlay Calder. The referee's arm had already been up for the penalty. An offside penalty, the referee deciding the ball was in the ruck and players round on the wrong side. Scots have taken their kick to touch, and that's the Welsh 22. And a great buzz of excitement all round this ground already. And listen to the cheering for Wales especially, but the big Scots contingent letting themselves be heard. Watkins high, Norster going, Jeffrey going through. Laidlaw the chip kick. Penalty to the Scots. Robert Norster just asking Yves Bressy what the penalty was for. And Gary Callender asks Gavin Hastings to kick for goal. That's the distance. And it's a lovely day for goal kick, I must say. The underfoot conditions are ideal. There's hardly any breeze at all. Flags waving just very slightly up on top of the west stand. Great roars of song here, but Gavin Hastings having to hold his concentration here. Hastings then pulling it round. It counts. 7 points to 0, the Scots lead. They've played just about 5 minutes.
Exciting stuff here. Been very impressed by the driving play of the Scottish forwards, that they picked up 1 or 2 loose balls, and I think at the restart here that Paul Thorburn would be far better kicking the ball deep into the Scotland 22 and try and settle his side down there, because at the moment the Scots have played all the game in the Welsh half of the field, and I think that a long kick-off would be the best thing that he could do now to settle his side down.
Paul Thorburn had to wait, of course, because they'd lost the ball. This is the big lad who's been brought back into the Welsh side and who's kicked so many points against Scotland. A little kick away there by Bleddyn Bowen, and the ball played on the full there by Ivan Tukalo, but of course it went out on the full, and so he loses the 10 metres. Mark Ring was ready to take a quick throw in. At the front of the line out for Wales, there is David Young, and there Phil May, this great veteran from Llanelli, who captained Llanelli 5 seasons running. Paul Moriarty of Swansea. Watkins with the throw. Through there went Richie Collins. Down goes May, but it was knocked forward. Just outside Scotland's 22. There's Roy Laidlaw, doing his 46th international, scorer of 7 tries for Scotland. Well, that looked a very awkward ball indeed. A foot seemed to get in the way, and the Scots really didn't get the strike that they wanted. That was more like it. Laidlaw to Kerr. Kerr, what a good start for him on his left foot as well. That's the one new cap on the side. Andrew Kerr gets a little pat there. Referee has given a penalty to Wales. May have been for a bit of obstruction at the line out.
I think the penalty was that certainly when the scrums broke up, then the 2 sets of forwards were exchanging punches there, and certainly the referee is in no doubt at all that Scotland had caused that problem and penalised them. And I notice now that they're just waiting for Staff Jones to receive some treatment there. Now whether this injury to Staff Jones has anything to do why Scotland were penalised at the scrum.
Staff Jones being tended here by Tudor Jones, and here's a sight that gives some Scottish rugby supporters nightmares. Paul Thorburn, you remember his 5 penalty goals here for Wales in a couple of years ago, which really won the match for Wales. And there's Staff Jones, the one Pontypool forward in the Welsh side, although of course there's Mark Ring who plays for Pontypool and he's in the backs. But he's a real bulwark in this front row. So Paul Thorburn brought into the side just to do this kind of job. It's high enough, but he's pulled it. And would you believe it? So both Gavin Hastings and Paul Thorburn have had one miss. And the disappointment is there for all to see. Gavin Hastings. Up goes Robert Norster. Through there goes Derek White. Campbell. Laidlaw. Kerr. Kerr, that's a mighty Gary Ieuan. Tuchel's coming up after it, so is Finlay Calder. Offside at the kick, I think. Wales being asked for the option. And a brief moment for this injury to Staff Jones. Now this will be a real blow to Wales, although they've got a tough little prop, Jeremy Pugh, as their replacement. But Staff Jones has been around a good long time. He's 29, this is his 7th international. He's played in this great Pontypool pack for some seasons now, and he's one of the 2 British Lions in this Welsh side. So he's a player of immense experience, and Wales won't want to lose him, Bill.
They won't want to lose him indeed, because I was very impressed by his display against England, that he certainly had Jeff Probyn, the England tight head prop, in a lot of problems, and it's the last thing that the Welsh side will want to do is lose him, but it certainly looks as though it's a serious problem now. But I think they've got to replace it. Jeremy Pugh, the Neath prop, is obviously getting himself warmed up, ready to come out onto the pitch instead of Staff Jones.
Well, it's a prop looking after a prop out there, because that's Dr. John Davies, a West Walian, who's the Welsh Rugby Union's medical officer. And there, Staff Jones in obvious discomfort. And what a tragedy so early in the match for him to have to leave the field. Doctor has to decide whether he can return, but it doesn't look as if he's going to. Bleddyn Bowen puts a left footer up towards the Scottish 22. And Wales, for the moment, are one-man short. Good jump by Cronin. Through goes Moriarty. Moriarty plunging on. That was a great drive. Now it's Robert Jones. Davies along the line to Ring, trying to miss out everybody. Hadley tackled by Duncan. And one of those all-embracing Duncan tackles on this big lad, Adrian Hadley. And down below us, number 19, Jeremy Pugh, is about to come on. But look at this lovely pass from Ring. It bounced nicely for Hadley, but he didn't have the legs of Duncan, and Hastings did the rest. And they'll be delighted at Nothinall in Neath as Jeremy Pugh comes on for his 2nd cap. He got his first against the Americans in November, after playing for the B team against France in October. Jeremy Pugh, a forward who can pack on either side, but he's gone onto the loose head side right enough. Jeffrey going. Laidlaw burrowing in as well. Norrie Rowan goes, throws off Jonathan Davies. The Scots forward playing with immense fire. Up to the 22. What a surging drive by Rowan. They're taking it on now through Calder. White's there as well. Now Cronin adds himself. Laidlaw, Kerr, the narrow side. A very high crossfield kick. Tuchel going up on it. An awkward bounce for Thorburn, taken by Jones, knocked down by Scott Hastings. Thorburn throws it out there. The pick up by Ieuan Evans. Gavin Hastings traps it, but the referee's whistle had gone. And what an amazing breakout by the Scots, from right on their own line, deep into the Welsh 22.
A tremendous play by the Scottish forwards, especially Finlay Calder there. Certainly Derek Grant has worked wonders with his Scottish pack. I think the World Cup, playing against New Zealand at Scotland, have learnt a lot of lessons from that. And just the way that they broke down the field. But I think the referee blew his whistle a little bit early there. He played no advantage whatsoever and gave Gavin Hastings no chance at all to counter-attack. But tremendous display by the Scottish forwards there, and having the confidence to attack from inside their own 22.
This is where it started. Andrew Kerr, brilliant on the narrow side with those little twinkling steps, and then a superb kick by him. That's the Welsh 22. A Neville bounce. Robert Jones was back, and look there how Paul Thorburn was simply enveloped. Now here's the chance. That was the knock-on by Ieuan Evans, but in actual fact, from that moment, Gavin Hastings might well have scored.
That's right, certainly no advantage at all played by the referee in that occasion.
Good Scottish scrummage. Laidlaw to Kerr, the drop goal, charged down there by Collins, taken there by Gavin Hastings. This is Matt Duncan. Laidlaw switching to Kerr. Kerr kicking into space. Back there goes Ieuan Evans. Oh, good clearance work. Ieuan Evans in his 11th international, and a lovely bit of footwork there by him. The pick-up facing the wrong way, the quick turn, and away went the kick. Damien Cronin as Scotland have cut to 2. Cronin to Callender. Went forward. Alistair Campbell, who captains Hoyk this season, came back into the side this season after being out, missing the World Cup. That's the Welsh 22. There's one of the great scrum halves in world rugby, Robert Jones. John Jeffrey, number 6 on this side for the Scots, playing right and left as Jones is in trouble from Laidlaw. Jonathan Davies. And so real pressure on the Welshman here. And there Jonathan Davies had to look very slippy indeed, but did well to get it away. "15 minutes of the match gone, Scotland leading 7-0. Callender throws. Campbell falls. Held by Richie Collins. Good drive by the Scots. Laidlaw out there to Scott Hastings. Scott Hastings to Duncan. An accidental offside as Duncan goes, feeding inside to Laidlaw. Yes, bumping into each other. Interesting to see a referee who's as tall as Yves Bressy. You can see over the top of things. He looks like 6'1" or so. Good strike by Wales. Well held in by Moriarty. John Jeffrey waits. John Jeffrey has to stay bound. Jones tries to catch him offside. Bressy did well. He looked behind to see for offside by the Scottish backs. Jonathan Davies. Beautifully angled kick across the forwards, and perfect judgment. It landed just in play.
I think that last scrum will be a gentle reminder to the Scottish back row that they're going to have to stay down in a few of these scrums. They all like to run around the park, but they must stay and do a bit more work in the scrum.
Yes, that's the kind of ball that Roy James Laidlaw does not want. If you don't mind, fellas, I'm 34 years old, he's saying. Great battle in prospect at the line-out, of course, with Ieuan Watkins here throwing so well against England when he came on as replacement. And, of course, Robert Norster, number 5 down there, one of the great artists at this phase of the game. But they are not getting up quite as high as usual. All that means it's a scrummage. And Wales getting the put in. There's a Scottish front row, David Soul on this side, then Gary Callender. Noddy Rowland, the veteran, on the far side. It's a good, steady Welsh scrummage. They'll be pleased about that as Robert Jones goes. There's the fast one to Hadley coming in. Now the pick up by Phillips. Into the Scottish 22. Great subs there with Norster in. Robert Jones. The feed out along the line there to Ring. Probyn, Ieuan Evans, tackled by Ivan Tukalo. And so Ivan Tukalo very cleverly stayed out just now and took his man. And there the Alan Tate of Kelso, the big Scottish centre, and Phil May is hurt. This was a lovely ball. Notice the wee dummy first of all to Davies. Then in came Hadley, and it was a good ball for Wales to win after Rowland Phillips had surged on. Then Jeremy Pugh went on. Now this was Robert Norster, the lock forward. And then, this was where the danger started. Mark Ring, and then Paul Thorburn, the fullback. But look how Tuchelo cleverly left Thorburn to the men inside him and stayed with his man, Ieuan Evans.
Yes, that defence there is all about confidence. It's a drift defence, and what happens that you rely on the player on the inside doing the tackling for you, and obviously Scotland showed that to perfection then.
And so they're the most disappointed man, I think, in Cardiff at the moment. Staff Jones, who's had to come off the field. And that's the score after almost 20 minutes. Phil May, the injured player. I suppose, Bill, one point about the drift defence and in relation to the winger is that with Paul Thorburn, who's not the quickest fullback in the world, the winger can afford to stay out.
Yes, he can afford to stay out with his own man because he's hoping that his centres can cover that space down, and yeah, that's all very well, but if Thorburn sort of put into overdrive, then you're in trouble.
Good clearance by Roy Laidlaw. So it's great to have a fellow of his experience here. The 8th player from the Jed Forest Club to be capped by Scotland. Now this is Ieuan Watkins, the first hooker from Melville to be capped. Great jump by Norster. Jones goes through, tackled by White, feeds on to Moriarty. Moriarty tackled there by Callender. Still Wales is put in. Robert Nicholas Jones of Trebanos. Plays for Swansea. Oh, good reverse pass. Jonathan Davies. There's that acceleration. Very, very quick. Back goes Derek White. The try is scored. Wonderful try by Davies. Can you believe it? An incredible bit of acceleration. All the congratulations there. And well deserved. Just watch it. That initially looked to be not a lot on as he was forced to change. Now watch the little kick through and the tremendous pace. Look at Jonathan Davies beating Derek White to it. That was a very good individualist try. Paul Thorburn, unusual left shoulder side on, and he's pulled it again. That's most unlike him. But Wales are back in the game. They've played 20 minutes.
Well, it just shows what a good footballer Jonathan Davies is. He looks outside and notices the Scottish defence so quickly, yet he's so aware because of the hole left by the Scottish back row. He's aware of Derek White there, and he must give him at least 3 or 4 yards there in 15 and beats him. Tremendous footballer Jonathan Davies, as he showed just then.
Gavin Hastings restarts. Hadn't gone the 10 metres. "18 minutes of the first half to go, and it's all movement, it's all excitement. And just a change of shots for Matthew Duncan, and that's halfway. Moriarty, Robert Jones, there's a chance here. Davies couldn't hold it. Good rescue, but Tuchelo was in there. Moriarty, Robert Jones again. Ring, missed out Bleddyn right out to Hadley. Hadley the chip ahead. Back goes Scott Hastings. And it was eventually Alan Tate who got it and put it into touch. Alan Tate, the 3rd Kelso player to play centre for Scotland. Oliver Turnbull, the first in the 50s, and Roger Baird. Jonathan Davies, the injured player. And And after that brilliant try, they won't want for a moment to see him going off. Wales very much back in the game after that try, Bill.
Yes, they've been brought back into it by the scrummage, really, that they've been able to secure a very good ball. They've realised that the Scots have a lot of pace in the back row, so that they're committing them to tight forward play, and that is enabling Jonathan Davies to just get a little bit more space than he had in the first 20 minutes of the game.
And that's Robert Leonard Norster laying down the law to his forwards, who've certainly come right back into it. And this is an area where Wales generally are very good.